What is up, y'all?
What's going on, brother?
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hey, Todd, how was your meetup? I meant to ask you. I don't know if I asked you that already.
It was great, man. There's about 50 to 60 people there, and it was a packed room. Yeah, it went really well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I just left the foreclosure auction. That's why I'm in my car,
Awesome.
and like five people from my school community. I offered anyone to come up there if you want to come up and learn a little bit. And yeah, they showed up, so it was pretty cool.
That's badass, dude.
Yeah, there's a house that I want to buy there that did not go to auction today. Supposed to, but they adjourned it. So I'm gonna call the attorney and see what date that the new date, what the new date's gonna be.
Hell yeah. That's cool. I just texted Clint. We'll go through our rounds here while we're waiting on him to get on here. I'm excited to bring him on here and show you all this.
Ooh.
MJ, what's up, man? You go by MJ?
Yeah, you can call me MJ or Mike or Michael. It doesn't matter.
Hell yeah. Glad you hopped in here, dude.
Me too. Me too. I mean, I loved your 5 deal exit
Yeah.
strategy. It's it has been incredibly frustrating trying to close cash deals and not and like lose all these leads. So I'm so excited to be here.
Hell yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's tough these days. Like I'm really putting my foot down. So I don't know what it is between, I mean, it's holidays, whatever, but some of our deals were like going crazy. And I jumped back in the closer seat of my business to watch what was going on because they were losing some. Anyways, like y'all know, it's cyclical, right? You're crushing, then it's weird or whatever. If you're not there yet, then it's like that sometimes. So, like as an operator, like you got to put your hands on everything and see what the hell's going on. And I noticed like my closer is like falling off of the system, right? We have 50,000 leads and they're everywhere. So they're blasted. They're just responding to yeses. There's leads everywhere. And I'm like, bro, whoa. So like I condensed them to two pipelines. And I'm like, all right, we go back to our system, right? You have your initials, you clear those out. You have the warms, those get hit every day. The follow ups get hit every day. Once they're hit 7 days in a row, they go to long term. Just the basics. And now we got just deals coming in out the ass. But it was like you see these like pitfalls in our business, and that's what it is. It's a system. That's why I did that. It's like an 8 hour course. I was like, screw it. I'm gonna record this. It could probably help some people.
Some of the best value added I've seen in a long time.
Badass. What you got going on, Randy? I know you sent me a deal. What the hell is Clint? I know you sent me a deal, I guess last night.
Yeah,
And
in Texas.
yep, in Texas. It was
Yep.
a two bed, one bath, right?
Yep. With the enclosed garage. You were kind of concerned because it was under 1,000 square feet.
Yep.
So I'm gonna have another call with her. I don't know if she'll go that low, but I'll ask her.
Awesome.
Yep.
Um, the thing with that is anything under 1,000 square feet. And I'm gonna tell you from experience because I've flipped properties under 1,000 square feet. They move slower than anything, and you get way less than you think you're gonna get. Right?
Yep.
I stopped
No, that
even
makes
buying.
sense.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
if they're like, well, it's five, I'm like it's 900 square feet. Like it doesn't matter.
Right.
The rooms get like
Right.
this.
It's
Uh,
tiny. 100%.
so
Yeah,
definitely novations.
Corpus is full of those 900 square feet houses, man.
I bought a lot of them.
I try to get everything up there if in Corpus 1,200 and above.
That's a good dude. So in Corpus, I probably bought 50 houses. Probably for like 40 G's. I probably put 20 in them. I rented them for like 1,400. Sounds awesome. But I've told y'all that story before. 10 years later, it's not awesome. Bro, my maintenance bills are nuts. Like insane. Like I've sold so many of them. Like yesterday alone, like 5 houses. Oh, we need complete new plumbing in the backyard. Oh, we need the complete, I mean, just, I look like a genius at the time when I was picking these up and just like cash. Not now, paying for it. So just stay away from them. That's why we do these groups. I'm about to call Clint's ass. Hang on. Give me a second. Da, 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 da. What you up to, Jesse? We didn't get to you last time.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Yo, yo.
Got a house I posted what couple afternoons ago. Basically, it brought me in just to be a consultant on the fix and flip. Guys owned
Yo,
it.
brother, you coming in here?
Yeah, I'm on the Hotel's live training. It says this is a recurring meeting. It says the host has joined.
There you are. Got you. I'm letting you in.
Sorry.
Later.
It's like, I was about to hit you up.
All right, later. Mark sends lengthy ass email. I didn't mean to cut you off, Jesse. Go ahead. Mark sends like these damn, oh, welcome to hotels and all this bull crap. You're just trying to find the link. But anyway, sorry, Jesse. Go ahead, dude.
Yeah, it's all good, man. So yeah, I posted a place that basically they're bringing me in just to consult on the. They're debating between keeping it as a rental and doing cosmetics or just rip the Band-Aid off. And the owner's actually up in Alaska and he's wanting to invest up there. And then he also wants to do some stuff with us here locally. So just partnered up on a couple and it's more of a retail play, but
Yeah.
and just really trying to gear up the retail side with my wife being on the team. So haven't been as heavy on this side, but once we kind of streamline the retail side, I'm going to dive in really hard in the next, hopefully 30, 60 days. Did have a lead come in a few weeks ago, but turns out it's going to be a short sale to make the numbers work. And I was actually just on with Brennan. He was like, I would just hard pass those,
Yeah.
to somebody else. But other than that,
Fast.
just cruising, man.
Let me know if you need anything.
I appreciate it, man.
Clint, what's up, bro?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Yo,
How are you,
yo.
Travis?
Thanks for jumping on, dude.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. I'm excited.
Hell yeah. So Clint is man, he's done a little bit of everything. I'll just give you a quick intro with the smoke and lights and mirrors and all the stuff and the Ric Flair. But good buddy of mine does like premium flips, like high-end flips, does commercial, badass at that stuff. I wanted to bring him on here because there's so much money to make in commercial wholesaling, commercial buying, like long-term thinking. Like, why buy a house? Me and Clint have this talk all the time. Why the hell would you buy a house if you could buy a building, right? It's the same process, and you make. Anyways, I'm gonna let you take the floor, dude, and we'll go from there.
Thanks. Hey, guys. I'm excited to be here. Excited to talk to you guys. Travis and I do. We've been in different masterminds together. We've just hung out and just talked business, life, fun, and we've done a lot of things. So anyway, I respect the hell out of you, Travis. I appreciate you having me on. And yeah, man, I'm trying to get there. I'm on day 3 of a 3-day fast right now. So I don't think I'm actually feeling hungry, funny enough, but I'm feeling the mental where I'm like, dang, I'm almost there and I get to eat again. So anyway, it's kind of fun, but trying to get swole one of these days, like our boy Travis here. So yeah, let me tell you a little bit about what I've done. I guess I started out in the construction field. So I see one of you there sitting in a car with the construction kind of stuff there. So, but I started as a framer. I'm 41 now. I started at 21 as a framer. Got into construction, doing that kind of stuff. And I remember looking around at one point, going like, "Damn, I feel like I'm smarter than half of my bosses in these different, worlds of it." And I'm sitting here making $500 a week. I'm just, breaking my back literally, right? I'm going, this is crazy. And so I went and bought my first flip, fast forward to like being 26-ish. And at that point too, I was also GCing projects. So I started GCing commercial projects. Funny enough, I went and looked at my first bar. I've built about 15 bars now. And I went to look at the first bar that I was building, and the guys were like, "Yeah, what do you think? Can you get it done? Whatever." And I remember looking up at the beams and going like, "Oh, there's no problem. I can absolutely do this." And this was not Chat GPT, it wasn't an easy Google at the time. I remember thinking like, I don't even know what the hell this metal is. At the time I was just like, whoa. And I was like, I'm gonna figure it out, but I don't know what it is. Because I was used to working with wood. So anyway, we got through the deal. I worked a smoking deal for those guys on a little side note, which was I gave them cost plus $10,000. So I got the deal done in 3 months. So instead of me making 2,000 a month, I was making three, ish, right, numbers in there. And I said, okay, well, I made $10,000 3 months. Well, guess what? The phone started ringing. Hey, can you build mine? Can you build mine? Can you build mine? I said, sure, let's keep going, right? So the numbers started to change as what I was charging them. But that's kind of my world kind of jumping into commercial. So in the meantime, I was flipping houses, and so many people nowadays will tell you. I mean, it's just a hard world, as probably a lot of flipping houses. I mean, it's just tough, and it's only gotten tougher. I always make the joke that it's like, every guy that has makes $100,000 and his wife is either doing one of two things. She's gonna go flip a house because she decided to be an interior designer, or she's gonna go start a clothing store somewhere, right? Because the guy's going, hey, man, let me help you get a job, whatever. Well, that became my competition, though. So she's looking at a house, and so am I. I'm going, I need to make, you know, 50 to $100,000 on this deal. And she's like, I don't really have to make anything. I just need to tell all my girlfriends over wine that like I am the house flipper now, and she gets to be cute and on the thing. I go, damn, man, this is getting really, really tough for me. So I said, okay, now what is my next avenues, and where do I want to get to? And another thing I started thinking about a lot of was, man, I need cash flow. I don't know if you guys have ever went to a bank and you go, hey, I need a loan. And the bank goes, sure, we'll give you a loan. How about a line of credit? You put $1 million in and we'll give you $1 million line of credit. You go, what the hell? That doesn't make any sense. Or they go, okay, well, what's your cash flow in your company? And you're like, man, what's crazy is I don't know, I made 300,000 last year. And they go, okay, that's great. Well, what's the monthly? And you go, some months it looked like I had nothing in the bank and it was really, really tough. And they go, okay. And then they go, but you ended the year or, whatever it worked out. And this is where you're at. So I started jumping into commercial. A few years ago, I bought a building right on market. And I bought it. And because I know the bars, to be honest with you, I wasn't going to turn it into a bar. Since 1945, it was a vet clinic. And they made it seem that they were going to keep the vet clinic going. I said, okay, great. I'll adjust their numbers a little bit. They were kind of negotiating with me um, a new lease. I said, okay, cool. And I wanted to negotiate it kind of after because I did want a little flexibility because their numbers were not where I needed them to be. Long story short, we get to it, and like the day after closing, they go, oh, by the way, we're moving out. I said, okay, well, great. It's a way out of date vet clinic. If you know all the vet clinics now, they look like hospitals for people. They're awesome. So I said, okay, I'm in this thing 600 grand, and there goes my tenant that I thought I was going to have here. Let me do what I know what to do, and I turned it into a bar. Now everyone gets scared on commercial. They go, how am I going to know commercial? I don't know the bars. I didn't start doing this for 20 years and building them out and doing them and everything. So I said, okay, we got to simplify this. And so one thing that Travis and I were talking about is I'm starting something called commercial JV, so commercialjointventure.com. And I said, you know what? This is something that's repeatable, but we have to make it something that's kind of simple. And so that's what I basically want to show you guys in a short presentation. We can get through this, and it'll give you a real understanding of what I'm more doing now and been doing. This is a real life case study. I close on it, by the way, next Friday. This deal I'm about to show you. And I've got two other deals right now in the hoppers that are going to close in the next 30 days as well. But this is what I'm doing mostly now. And because it fills all those little things that kind of all of us are looking for. And yeah, so if you want, Travis, I can share my screen and then I'll just pull it up and go for it.
Yep, go ahead. I just allowed it.
Perfect. Thank you. Let's see here. Okay, let me minimize this, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on present. All right, can you guys see all right?
Yep. It
Cool.
it might be frozen because it's not presenting yet, but I'm sure it'll get there.
It says let's see.
See the slides?
Yeah, can you see any slides yet or no?
Yeah.
Okay, I skipped to number anyway. So yeah, this is commercialjv.com. So if you can see this now, are you guys seeing what we see here?
It's just saying let's create something amazing together. Commercial JV. And then there's like a present sign up.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I'm in it. Let me see if I can back out, and then I will
Unless you have like multiple screens and it went off another one or something.
No, no, I'm on one. I put it pretty simple here. Let me see. Let me see what I can do to.
Good old technology.
I know, right? That's funny. I tested it earlier, but so
Now it's now
you're
it's
seeing my
moving. Yeah, you
screen
can
now.
just yep. You just click on each individual one if you want.
Let me see if I can do an enter full screen on it. No, it doesn't. Maybe if I do the yeah, I can do it this way. If
Boom.
okay, does this work for you guys? You can at least see it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay, it'll work. Okay, so kind of what we were just talking about, just to start it off. So the problem with residential and what I was running into, obviously, is so the off market is super overhyped, which has compressed a bunch of yields. We've got on market deals that are normally just absolute trash, right? And then it's hard to find operators, capital, and align it all and make it move forward. I know you guys probably do a lot more of that, but I know you're probably seeing some of these things being kind of the issue. And so this is where I got to where I said, okay, we got to change it up. So I'm going to give you guys the real life scenario. Here's what I'm under contract for. It's here in town. It's on the street, La Chapelle. So it's downtown. It's on about zero point 0.7 acres, and you can see there it's kind of like four buildings, although they're kind of all attached. And so the reason I love these metal buildings is they're just no nonsense, extremely basic. When you look at them, you see them, and you see what you get. So when I've done a lot of high end historical flips, all kinds of things, and when you look at them, you go, "Oh my God, um, this looks great." And then you open up a wall and you go, "Oh my gosh, this has been here for 100 years. What am I going to do with it? Whatever." So when you're looking at a deal like this, again, the reason I like it, it's repeatable. You don't have to know how to build a bar or go in and have a lot of imagination. It's just there. Also, it's just a hot ticket market that people are really looking for. I can divide this into 6 units. I mean, it's just got some availability there. So for 700,000, it's 16,000 square feet. It's a pretty good deal. So that's pretty much where we're at. Why light industrial? It's super simple. Huge high demand. There's so many people that need this. On this street, there's a bunch of these kind of things. Buildings and such added up. So there's on the street right now. There's a gym in there. Actually, it's a huge. If you're in San Antonio and you've heard of, I don't know if Travis you've been, but it's called Warhouse Gym. It's actually on the exact same street. It's been blowing up.
Yep.
There's another part of it that they're using an open space like this for like kids gymnastics. And then you have the basics of there's a window company in one, there's a granite company in one, there's this kind of stuff going on, and it goes into these, and it's just a hugely needed asset class. So here's the opportunity. Let's look through it. You know, it, it people look at commercial and they go, "Oh my God, it's scary." Well, I have different wording here: acquire, rehab, stabilize, and refinance. Just think of Burr, the Burr method. That's what everyone would talk about today. It's like, oh, that's what it's called, and it's pretty much that. So when you look at this deal, I'm buying it for 731, and I'll walk you through it. But you'll see there's an all-in basis. I'll be in $1 million. Stabilized value is 2.7. So just that alone, you get the idea of where we're headed. But you're not going to find that in any residential. So here's our execution plan. We're going to acquire it as it's distressed, underutilized. Oh, by the way, I did want to mention this. This is purchased on market. Now, it did have multiple offers because it came in cheap and it's an estate sale, but it did hit market. LoopNet, Cruxy, they're going to be out there. So again, I'll challenge anybody. Where are you going to find a deal that has anywhere near what I'm about to show you, and find it on the MLS? I would love to see it. So the stabilization, yeah, we're not going to do any structural. We're not doing anything that's crazy outside the norm. It's going to be a very easy walk in and get my permits and walk right out. So obviously I do it online now, but that's the concept of it. Stabilize it within 1 to 2 years. It's going to be a triple net. Another reason I love this kind of commercial is no one's calling me and telling me my bathroom's clogged or I need this or I need that. It's like, go figure it out. If your AC's out, I don't care. Not that these will have ACs, but if they decide to, again, tenants improve a lot of this stuff too. So once we stabilize this thing, we're going to take it to, I'm going to show you guys at the very end a credit union that I'm working with for my bar that I was just talking about that I'm refinancing currently as well. So I'm using real numbers, but you can take it to a bank or a credit union. I'm just finding the numbers are really insane. Different, they're great. The credit unions, which I didn't realize, to be honest, how great credit unions are compared to. I've been working with a local bank here in town for a long time. Here's the basics of the deal. 731 500 is what I'm purchasing it for. My rehab's 250, all in about $1 million. Again, the rehab focus is pretty straightforward. Why is it so expensive? It's 16,000 square feet. I'm also going to go ahead and bring in three-phase, which just going to give everybody, again, you want to run a bunch of welders, you want to run this, you want to run that, you have it. So the biggest thing that I think on these deals is going to be, they're going to last forever. You can see that the top part there is what it looks like currently, by the way, and the bottom one, little cheat code. All I did was put it into Chat GPT, and I said, "Give me what this will look like, all pretty and updated." Okay. So anyway, a little bit more than that, but that's where you get to. I used to pay people a lot more money to get renderings, but this is a sufficient rendering that I can turn over to my lenders, and they go, "Wow, I can see it." So many people can't see it. So, and even if you can't see it, ChatGPT or whatever, we'll see it for you, Grok, however you want to do it. But we're gonna do light rehab. I mean, it's electrical. We're gonna do lighting upgrades between the tenants. I'm gonna be the demising walls. So very, very simple. You can do that several different ways. But think of it as I can just put metal studs and then just screw to that, possibly just part of the R panel, the metal building. You can also use other things as well, but again, just to give you the simplicity of the system. Restrooms, I'll probably add some restrooms in this. It's going to need them. Again, from me looking at it from a very simple point, I'll put the restrooms in the front. The reason is the plumbing runs along the street, and so all I'll have to do is I'll have to go cut a strip down it. So say that I divide it into four. All I have to do is go cut a strip down in the asphalt, which I can easily patch and connect into my plumbing that's already there. There's already bathrooms in some, but depending on how I divide this up. So, and then no change of anything structural, nothing like that. So banks, again, they love to see that, and or a hard money lender or what have you. So we'll go into all that too. So underwritten, here's where we're looking nice. So right now I can get triple net at about 16,000 a month, which is somewhere around 192 annually. That's at a cap rate of 7%, and they're going to imply the value at 2.7. And again, the way that works is, I'll just give you an example. I sent it to my banker, and my deal that I have currently that I'm closing right now, which is why I'm using that as an example, is I just sent him. I said, "Hey, here's what it makes. That one makes 13 a month. Triple net. Now remember, triple net means they're going to pay all your taxes. They're going to pay the insurance. They're going to pay the anything that comes up in the situation. So if something goes wrong, they're going to fix it themselves. You're hands off. So part of why I'm buying these too is I'm very creative. If I was showing you some of the stuff I've done, that's kind of a world that I sort of work in. The problem is, one day when I'm dead and gone and I say, "Hey," to my daughter, "everything I have is yours," she's going to have to somewhat be creative. In this world, there's no creativeness. You just do it. So it's very, very basic. Let me show you the refinance setup on this deal. So they're going to give us up to 67%. If we wanted to pull out of this so I remember I'm in $1 million. Because of the 2.5, let's say, I can go pull out $800,000 up front if I want to. I'm getting a rate currently at 5.9%. And so these are based off of it's based off my other loan, but these exact numbers. So they're doing a 25-year AM, which comes out at a 1.4 DSCR, which is great. And they have a no prepayment penalty. So again, if I wanted to, there's 800,000 I could pull out right away. I will caution you guys that this still needs to be set up properly, which is why we're launching commercialjv.com, is honestly to help people with this. So if you went to one bank, let's say you have a good banker, you like them, And I've tried this. I say, hey guys, I want to I want to buy this. You fund it, refinance it, do it. They won't. And there's a federal reason why. A bank's not allowed to. They're not allowed to fund you like they would on residential, where they go, oh, I can see the future valuation. They can't. So they're going to fund you like 70, maybe 75% if you just go to a banker and say, hey, I want to get this done. You better bring a lot of cash, and then you're going to have to move that loan no matter what anyway to somewhere else to refinance it. But again, if you already have the financing in place, um, with either again a hard money. Remember, hard money. I don't know if anyone has done any of this or how it works necessarily on the mobile parks or something, but hard money looks at this and goes, I don't know anything about it. I hit up all my hard money guys who I haven't used in years because I had got a bank relationship, and so I was using them even for hard money, and they would do it on residential. So I called my banker. I said, "Hey, here's the deal, and I'm looking at it, and I want you to do it." And he goes, "Oh, we don't fund this." Not the way you think. I said, why? Anyway, so there's federal rules. Just a little precaution before you get into it. But again, if I can buy something for $1 million all in, pull out 800 and still make money, why would I not? So let's just say we're pulling out a loan at 1.5. We're going to take out an extra $500,000. You don't have to take out a damn thing. Now, why would you take out a 500,000? Because if I can keep doing this kind of thing over and over and over again, I'm going to need some cash to go front a little bit, take out some more, but say now I can go buy 2 more deals, just to give you an idea. So if I make $1 million valuation jump on this one, now I just took out 500,000. I buy 2 more deals. That's 2 more million. I just did $3 million in net worth growth, right? So whenever you have to fill out your forms for the bank and they go, "What's your personal financial statement?" You go, "Dude, I just made $3 million in net worth growth." Myself, let's say, with 3 deals in this month, right? That's crazy. So again, that's just showing you the debt service is going to be at 11,000. Remember, these are pretty strict numbers because it's triple net. So long and short, this one right here, with pulling out a 500,000 after, so you're already 500,000 in your pocket, and you're still making cash flow of $60,000 a month. So again, say your annual budget, and everyone's got different, but a lot of people can live off of that one deal, right? So when I look at a deal like this and I think about my mom retiring, my mom is 60, she'll be 68 next Tuesday. And I was talking to her the other day. I said, "Mom, do you have $1 million in like a 401k? Like, where are you at?" And she's worked well. She makes she makes $150,000 a say. I don't know, but she does well. And I said, "Mom, do you have?" She goes, "Mom, I don't have that kind of money in there." And I go, "Mom, well, what about with, I got her a house 10 years ago." I said, "What about with the house and with that?" I go, "Do you think you could be close?" Maybe. I go, "Okay, cool." So my thinking is, okay, well, what if I could get her to a point where, again, she doesn't have to even pull out the 500,000 and these numbers start jumping a lot, right? I could get her at like $100,000 cash flow, offer $1 million. I think, and not to mention it would be worth more, another million. So I could grow her net worth. Obviously, I could put it in a trust with my name on it, hopefully, right? But the idea would be is that I could set my mom up just on one deal alone. So let's look at this deal. Again, it's just breaking it down for us just to see it. So we're going to be able to pull out about a 500,000. It's going to be worth 2.4 to 2.5. Debt after refi, 1.5. So that's just giving you a little breakdown. I just wanted to break it down just a little bit more and show you guys kind of the deal flow of it. So 500K cash back. Again, maybe you take 100K out of that and use the other 400 to continue to grow your business. 60K annual cash flow. Again, you get 2, 3, 4 of those. You're starting to make $250,000 a year before you wake up. And again, nobody calls you to tell you they have a problem. If they move out, fine. If they don't pay, guess what you get to do? Unlike residential, you just go put a lock on the door, tell them they violated their lease, you're out of here. So, and you get a $1 million just in net worth growth right there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. To give you an idea of where it is, that's kind of where we're pushing. So I've been doing this myself. Like I said, the last probably 3 to 4 years, we've started to put this together, and I'll go ahead and come back to you guys. We started to put this together, and now I want to kind of start teaching people, and that's kind of something Travis and we honestly were just talking on a whim the other day about a deal that I went to look at that was absolutely his wheelhouse, which was a mobile park, and I was telling him, I said, "Man, I get numbers and I understand the deal, but here's what I'm doing." And so then we ended up talking for about an hour, and he goes, "Hey, why don't you jump on and just show something small?" and giving ideas. So that's kind of the spectrum, and then I can break this down for you too. But I wanted to show you guys just kind of some real numbers of what's happening. Again, that's a real deal that's currently going down right now, and it's I live downtown. It's right down the street, so that's real deal.
Yeah, dude, thanks for doing that. It's pretty simple how you broke it down. What about the 250 you got to put in? Are the bank gonna front that, or you got to get a partner to put that up? Are you putting that up?
So you got different scenarios, and it's funny because I've looked into some different scenarios, and partly because I knew we were going to be talking. I said, hey, he goes, you want to talk today or tomorrow, or whatever. When I first talked to him, it was like last week. But give me a week, just because I want to kind of put some scenarios together for everyone to actually see, and I want to be realistic on this because I want to be realistic on the idea that you didn't just do it for 4 years. You started today, right? So one thing I've looked at is if you just go to like a hard money lender. I've talked to some of my hard money lenders that were my normal guys that I used to work with on houses. So if you guys are used to something like that, the only difference is they weren't super used to it. You might have one that is, but because they aren't used to commercial, they wanted me to put up more money. So I basically I'm seeing numbers around the $200,000 that I would need to be upfront out of pocket in order to get this done, which again, still not a bad deal, especially knowing you could refi. My plan is to refi within 1 year. Um, the other thing you could do is obviously you could find a lender. I think, again, I don't know how much everyone's done. You know everyone way better than I do, Travis. But as you do deals and they see that this works, hard money lenders are more willing to do this. So the other thing is, meaning if I went to them now and I showed them, hey, this is how the deal works, and they see it happen once, I guarantee you, they're going to want to do it again. Every one of the guys that were hard money lenders that I've talked to that are here in town, um, they all said the same thing that they do not. They're just not as risky right now, I guess, is the best way to put it. Everyone has been pretty rough on them. They've done a lot of loans over. I'll tell you this. I'll give you a little joke scenario of this, Travis, but when I owned the bar, by the way, I own the real estate. I ran the bar for 1 year and then I sold the bar. That's a whole nother deal, but that was a sweet deal as well. Was able to pull out like 700K and still go refinance this thing, right? So anyway, when I was running the bar, I go, man, you know what? I'm looking around. I go, there's a lot of hot girls working for me again. And you know what? They're all back because if you guys looked around say 5 years ago, every hot girl that was a bartender, guess what they became? Realtors, title girls. I mean, lenders. They all jumped into real estate. Well, guess what? The market, and I was honestly, I don't want to say scared, but I was looking at the market going, dude, this is gonna crash at some point. Like when every girl and every dude that doesn't know anything about anything steps into this world and they go, oh, I buy a house and I didn't do anything and I flipped it. It's incredible. That was amazing. It was easy. It's like, yeah, that's not the case, man. This is something's gonna be off here, right? So I was seeing that, and that's why I kind of really transitioned quickly into commercial full time. But or again, I'll still flip houses or not flip them, but people call me with a deal, I'll wholesale it, or distressed property pops up, what have you, right? That being said, my main focus is this to build. So the other thing is you can go to a bank. A bank will loan you on this, but they're going to loan you 75% to cost. So there's two different numbers that, most of us are used to probably using LTV. Well, they're more LTC, right? So they're going to do a loan to cost. And so again, you're going to have to come up with cash and then you're going to show them and prove to them because of the federal situation. What they didn't want was, BlackRock to go in and buy the Wells Fargo building, let's say, and they go buy it for $100 million, and everyone knows all those buildings are going from like 100 to 20 now or worse. And someone comes in, they lend on it, you pull out a ton of cash, you bankrupt your company, you put it all in your pocket, and you go, oh, sorry, it didn't work. It's like, and again, that could be lawsuits. We can argue all that all day long, but the point is, these are federal rules because of this, and it's different on residential, right? So they will loan on it, but again, you would probably want to back up pretty quick if you don't have a lot of cash laying around to be able to refinance out of that quick. And that's going to be your biggest thing is making sure you can find someone. I got a buddy of mine, I think probably a lot of your group knows Logan, and I was talking to him about this. Logan Fulmer, and his big thing when he buys commercial, his big deal is like, man, just trying to get it leased quick. Um, I, being the location and being that I'm in this business and do it a lot and everything, I posted it one time on Instagram and Facebook on my stories, and I had like 10 people literally, of which four seemed really much like strong, and they were like, I need a place to lease like this ASAP in downtown. That being said, as you diversify to other places, and locations, having a strong, what Logan was saying, having a strong person within that sector that's in that exact area is going to help you lease it quicker. It's going to be worth every dime of it. So I think that's something important to do.
Oh yeah. Do y'all does anybody have any questions? We'll open up the floor. I could just start. Actually, I'll just call on y'all. Might be easiest. MJ, you got any questions?
Yeah. That was a great presentation. I don't know anything about commercial, so it was a great presentation. When the hard money comes to you, what's the percentage that you're paying on the initial hard money loan?
Yeah. So I went out and I got, I don't know, three or four recently and I can even send some to you, Travis, that you can upload to everyone, or something to help out. But I got different structures. All are about this. They're all similar. They're just different money out and then different money. So some want a percentage up front. Let's say they want. Um, I'm just trying to think of each one. So let me break it down. Some are going to want like a 2 to 3 points up front, possibly more, and then some are going to want an exit as well, right? And then there's others that aren't, but maybe they want you to pump a little bit more money in up front. So depending on their level of risk, where they're at, and again, a first time, one thing that I would say is, again, just the reason I'm showing you industrial. So I have other deals working that are, a bar, restaurant, or this or that, but I've just been doing it, right? And so once you get into it and you start seeing the world and people are throwing you deals, or you see them online or what have you, they start to make more sense. But from an initial standpoint, everyone loves industrial. You'll hear, the more you start diving into this, more you're going to hear industrial, 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 and it's because it's a metal box. So don't overthink it. It's not crazy. But yeah, from a lender standpoint, they're going to want to get their points up front, and that's what I've seen mostly. Now I do, again, I've done a little bit more of this, so I can kind of show them I've done more of this. I can show that there's a huge spread on this one. So I do have other lenders that are 3% down and zero exit, which is actually great. So I think it's not bad. But I would say if you're an initial person just looking out, I sent it out to people I didn't know, right? And that's what I was getting back within the last week, just to have this kind of like a complete fresh start. But I think if you were to walk into it and just like when you first didn't know residential or what have you, and know the process of loans and everything else, it's literally almost the same. Not to mention, again, same way you guys would pick up a deal and you could relist this deal immediately. Or and that's something unique too. If any of you guys are realtors or anything like that, if you're on Crexy or on LoopNet, which again, it's sort of probably outside of what you guys normally do, but they don't have to post what it sold for. They don't have to leave it up as that it's even for sale. There's so much stuff that's like super flexible. There's not like a consumer like protection plan because you're already a businessman. It's kind of, I guess, how the government or what have you looks at it. And then I'll also kind of tell you, I don't know all the laws, but Travis and I were at a deal not too long ago, and it was like that week, I think, during the wholesale event was like, you can't text or call anyone anymore, right? Well, guess what you can do? You can call and text businesses, at least from what I understand. Now, I'm not exactly on that, and so don't quote me all of it. And you get sued, don't blame me. But my point is, you got a lot more flexibility where you're able to hit up businesses. So I would say all the way around this, take out that it's commercial, look at it as a rental, and look at it as a rental that they pay it's almost a rental that is commercial is almost a rental that is an owner finance, if you will. So it's like meshing the two, I guess, is the best way I could say it, which really alleviates a lot of stress. And I had 40 rentals before I was doing this on another note. So trust me, I understand getting calls at 2 a.m. telling me, and then I send my plumber over there on an emergency call, and they pull out a tampon that, is like, dude, your toilet wasn't clogged by me. It was you. You know what I mean? And I'm still dealing with that though. Right. Well, I got my wife and my kids and my life or whatever, it's like, dude, I hated it. So, I mean, it was paying the bills and doing what it did, but this is a different game. So,
Now, you mentioned something, and I get the same terms. Like if I buy parks, houses, it doesn't matter because of experience. 3% down is points, and the rest
yeah,
is
and
finance.
10 to 12%.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I get sometimes they'll go up to 14. Right? If they got to go get the money for me, because I don't usually raise my own anymore. I take the easy way out.
Sure.
But the reason he's doing the JV thing, and we wanted to kind of bring that up, is starting out if you don't have experience, kind of like why I did the wholesales group. If you don't have experience, I do. I got the connections, you get the money, it's the easy button. Once you get the experience and the track record, you get the 3%.
Right.
You get the terms, you get the so that's the whole point of that. Randy, what you
Yeah,
got?
I've got people
Oh,
for this. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, they get a deal, they can just shoot it over, right?
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can connect a lot of dots. I mean, depending on how, big or small, but it's a lot easier once you've been doing it. Yeah.
Randy, what you got, man?
Yeah. Thanks, Clint. Appreciate you jumping on. Two questions. One, because I'm new to the commercial side, how do you figure stabilized value? I think you said, like on that deal, it was like 2.5. How do you get to that number? Is it similar? I'm assuming it might be similar to ARV, or how did you come up with you're buying it for 750, you got all in a million, and the future value, I guess, is 2.5. Is that based off of the fully rented out?
Yeah. That's based off of being fully leased out and then just a cap rate on it. So yeah, when the banks are looking at, like, the banker on the refi deal that I just got back the information yesterday from a credit union. So I was getting like 8% from a bank, and a credit union was somewhere in like a 6%, 7%, right? I just kind of split the difference. And so I'm just getting better rates, and like a 1% down for a refi. So I was like, damn, like a credit union the deals look better. And that being, because it's, again, now I'm looking at long-term hold. I'll do a 14% on a deal like this any day, because who cares? Now, the reason that they're doing it, the guy didn't even see the property, but the strict commercial lenders. So when you go to call your bank, Google your whatever bank you use, and you look up, and they're going to have a commercial lending side, and they're going to have, and that's the one that's working with commercial loans, be it this or even loaning to your company. Right. So if I'm running a big landscaping company, that's the same guy I'm kind of working with. Now, they're looking at just cap rates. They're looking at cash flow. That's it. And that's what the bank loves the most. So yeah, they're literally going to look at that. They're going to put a cap rate on it. So if you had like a national, go on to LoopNet, and real easily you can look up, and you look up like something that's for sale, and it'll be like a national company, Starbucks, right? And they'll be like, oh, it's a four cap, right? And you're like, dude, what? Like, who would do that deal, right? And banks love them only because they're a national brand. They think that's going to work no matter what. So if you were going to buy a strip center, same kind of thing. That's why, when you get the hub, right, you get the HEB, is like what we have here, right? Like our grocery store. So it's like, if you got that guy in, the bank's going to give you the loan. Otherwise, your cap rate sort of moves. So that's how you're getting that valuation, is just strictly from a cap rate and what you're showing that you're getting in. I will also caution you, depending on where you're at in this scale, they want probably a 6 month to even a 2 year, right? So there's your span, and you need to make sure who you're talking to when you're looking for your final loan. That they want some form of stabilized, not all of them, but, and again, as you doing it, and depending on what you're, if you got 10 million in the bank already, it's like, they might work with you, right? But depending on where you're at in all of those kind of scales, that's what we find. So that is part of it. But yeah, if you're about 6 months in, let's say, and you're getting that 16,000 a month, yeah, they're going to give you that. That's what it's worth.
Okay, cool. And then the second question is, are there any type of commercial deals that you stay away from? And if so, why? Because sometimes while I'm on the phone, somebody will say, hey, I'm not selling my house, but I have a tire shop I'm selling. I'm sure, like you said, industrial is the easiest, the light industrial. Is there anything that you wouldn't want to entertain?
Um, my if you're gonna, it's funny is, and I've owned an apartment that I don't like the residential. I want something that I can get triple net. Is there anything I wouldn't entertain? I would say if it's not in your, people talk about buy box, and I always tell them is like, for me, it's like, can I buy your Rolex for $200? That's in my buy box. It's like, what's your buy box, right? It's such a, the real estate market has changed, and the verbiage has changed over the last 20 years. So, I would say if you're new and you just, super uncomfortable, you feel it's a deal. Again, that's why we're here at startingcommercialjv.com. That being said, yeah, I mean, a tire shop, there's going to be certain things like that. I like them. I would be more than happy to look at buying the business and the shop, right? So there's other things too within that. So it just depends. But no, there's nothing I look at. I mean, I don't look at a lot of like offices, I would say. If I was going to put something on that, I would say like the large offices. I mean, again, if you're getting them at 10 cents on the dollar, maybe, I think that's what I've heard. I had a guy come in and speak at the bar. We had a real estate day. Like, just two guys came in to talk, and he was buying them. And also, by the way, his dad started the company, doing that, and he bought a Wells Fargo building, funny enough. So, it's just not something that I look at. It's not something that I think banks like right now. They just love industrial. But yeah, I think if you have the right location, like everything else, even with industrial, I'd be cautious if I was going to move like uh, an hour outside of a big city. 30 minutes is, again, I would adjust my numbers, but an hour outside of a big city, that would be something I would be real kind of nervous about, I guess, because what plumber wants to come store all their shit an hour away, and
Okay.
if that
Yep.
small city can't sustain that. And again, I mean, this is a deal I pulled right off of LoopNet. It popped up. I was there within a week. There was a few offers, and we adjusted it to win. There's a title issue that supposedly they text me today saying they're going to clean up, which I'm hoping that they don't, so I can adjust their price down and go clean it up for them. But anyway, I think it's probably going to be what it is. But yeah, that's probably the ones I would avoid.
So, with us, like I'm not a member of LoopNet. What information would I need to get in order to send it to you via that commercial JV to even get you to look at it? Since I
So
don't
I
have access to LoopNet or that other site you talked about.
I
Correct.
just asked a guy just prior to us meeting. So this week I just got access to LoopNet. Before I was just using the consumer version. So I mean I put this one under contract. I've put two other ones under contract just from LoopNet and Crexy, not from being I don't even pay the fees. The guy gave me his login, and I was just like, I'm curious to see what's there. But most of it's there. I mean, I was able to look up who the owner was. Just probably the same way you guys do, right? I went into county records. I went into this. I went into that. I saw it was in a state. I said, okay, it's interesting. Da da da. I looked up the tax records. It was good. What have you? And then I just called the broker. So I literally called the broker direct. I don't have a broker representing me. I could. Like my buddy that gave me the LoopNet, he was like, I'll give you money back if you work with me on these deals because they're bigger deals, right? So you probably could do something like that. Is find someone in your area that is using it, and once you kind of dive into these, you'll start seeing more of that. But yeah, you don't really need to have one of the deals I'm buying right now is there's two tenants in it, so it's called 70% leased, another 30% left. And that deal is I mean it's just online. I emailed the lady and said, hey, I'm interested in the deal. Can you send me the lease information? I want to see what they're even paying, like legitly, like is it triple net, is it this? I mean, they kind of give you some of that information on LoopNet or Crexy. One thing I found in commercial too, little tidbit to give you, is people will post things, and I'm not sure why, but brokers will post things on Crexy and not on LoopNet, and sometimes on LoopNet and not on Crexy. I don't know why. And then you have CoStar, right? And it's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure why, but you can pretty simply look up under for sale and for lease within that region. So it's a pretty easy on my street, and I'm giving uh, pretty low numbers for what it's worth. I'm giving all in at $12 a foot. When someone says $12 a foot, all you do is multiply it times the square footage, and that's your annual, and then divide it by 12 for months, right? So that's how they're looking at commercial. I don't know why. Again, a lot of the things seem like, well, it's crazy, and it's not. It's very basic of how it's there, but it's just said differently. So again, it's like whole tails. I remember, I don't even know, maybe 5 years ago, it became a word. I feel like nobody said whole tails. It's like, oh, you mean you buy it, you close it, and you do it again, or hey, what about all these terms that come out? I guess are just like new terms, but yeah, they're all the same thing. That if you've been doing it for a minute, it's the same in commercial, pretty much. But you could find all that information.
So he's
And then
asking,
with the,
he's asking like, hey, I want to find a deal. How do I find it? Would it be fair to say, hey, I'm looking for a metal building. It needs to be, what do you think, minimum square footage? It needs to be 10,000 square feet. Go ahead and if you could get it for $10 a foot, send it over. Like, what do you think? What's a good for the,
Yeah, so everyone's in a different location, I'm guessing, or a lot of y'all here in
they're
San Antonio,
nationwide. Yeah,
Texas,
they're,
all over the place.
yeah.
Yeah, so I would be more than happy to real simply look at. It might take a minute if I did it right now, but I mean, I can pull up LoopNet and share my screen if you wanted and go, okay, here's a deal that I would look at. I mean, I have one in mind. If you want me to show you, I told you about it, Travis. I didn't move on it or anything, and
yeah,
it's
cool.
it's
Y'all
out
cool
there.
with that? Y'all want to see it? Yeah, cool. Let's do it.
Yeah, y'all could. It'll just be easier because I have right where it's at. So let me pull this up real fast. It's a decent enough deal that anyone could sort of pull up.
And people want
Let
like
me.
simple formula, like flipping. It's like, oh, 70% minus. That's why he's showing examples because it's a little different. You know. But
Yeah, yeah. So I've even been on. You guys use PropStream, I'm sure.
yeah,
So I mean, I have that pulled up. I mean, you can see my upper tabs and go, oh shit, he's looking at all this shit. I mean, I do the same thing. So I'll look up on PropStream and try to find distressed commercial properties, right? I'll try to find different ones, and then I plug it into my personal system and start looking through it. So let me share. I'll share my screen again with you guys, and then tell me if we see it. Okay, let's see.
I'm glad you talked about banks. I have to hit up a couple more banks. I'm trying to refi a park right now.
Yeah, I
Oh,
told you I got that one that'll
yeah,
maybe be something worth looking at for you.
yep,
Okay, so right now I'm. You can see the screen fine.
yes, sir.
Okay, so just real simply, I'm on LoopNet. Very, very simple, right? So let's go to filter. Let's clear all filters real fast. All right, here's everything. So all filters, we're in for sale. Yeah, let me make sure to clear everything. And let me close this. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to move that. Oop, my bad. Let me get back. I was trying to close this out, and I wasn't able to because Travis, you're still on my screen. And so anyway, I closed it out here. Okay, let me share again. Oh, I don't think it's sharing. Let's see.
Yeah, it just shows the map on our end.
Yeah, you can see the map,
Yeah, I see the map.
and you don't see me, right?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we can see the map.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So what I would do, I would go into property types real simply, click on industrial. It's going to give you all of them. Some you like, some you don't. So I live downtown. I'm really familiar with really all of San Antonio because I bought all over it. But so you could start clicking on deals and going, okay, what's this deal? Okay, let's see. Some things I do, I've been searching enough too, where I'll run searches pretty quickly on deals that are like new deals, right? So because I look enough, I'm like, all right, what's a deal? And you can go in pretty easily and figure out like what. So you could do size, price, what have you. So I just click on industrial and I kind of click through. I mean, if you look again, it's really not that much within a pretty decent little region if you want to move out. So you get up north. This is kind of like our expensive areas, and you start looking at numbers, and you're going, man, these are these are pricey here, comparative. Now, this is just industrial. I look through a lot of different ones, to be honest. I'm just giving you like a quick synopsis scenario. So I have this one that I looked at the other day. I go, man, this is actually a pretty damn good deal. And this is what I was talking to you about, Travis, is kind of where we were talking. But so again, the deal I purchased is right down in here, the deal that I'm under contract on. Let's see if it's even on here still, just for look's sake. I'm curious. No. So like I said, it might be on Crexy only. I'm not really sure why it's not on here. It says all filters. It says one. Push and clear. So there shouldn't be any, but
For some reason, it says auctions up, but I don't know if that matters.
you think that's what it is?
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe the other one that I found, and maybe he just took it off, like I said, but yeah, it still says one filter. Anyway, I'll show you where, yeah, so some more popped up here. So let's go ahead and zoom in. So I was just looking in the area and I saw this one. I go, okay, this one's interesting to me. So I'll just give you a quick synopsis of why it's interesting to me. So I pull it up and I go, okay, it's 71% leased. And this is one that I reached out to the lady. So I go, maybe I'll buy this one. So you beat me to it, good for you. But that being said, there's plenty out there. So um, this one's a unique deal anyway because it's got some leases in place. So right now, if we just scroll down and look, so all I did was here's her contact and I just hit her up. So I looked through it. It's like, okay, they're already getting, they're basically getting about $10,000 a month because I actually got the actual breakdown from her. On here, the breakdown looks a little different from what she actually sent to me. And I said, huh, it's pretty interesting. So I've actually walked this one, but so again, you're not going to get access to everything immediately, but you're going to get enough where you can look through. It's IDZ zoned here. That means infill development zoning. It means it's really a flexible kind of place. This one has two already put together. If you want, let's look at the property package. This is how I would look at something. So right now they've got like an adult daycare in there on one side. That's what this side is. So it's actually really nice. They're only doing it at $10 a foot, which is just cheap. But you know what? If you got to get it leased, the other thing you can do is like a 2-year lease instead of a 5-year lease. And or one thing that we do in commercial is like incrementally jump them up. So they don't stay at the same rate. They might go up 5% each year or something like that, or whatever it may be. So you can do that. So you kind of get them locked in and going for it. This is just giving you what's around there. Here's the two. There's 1 and 2. This one is no longer this. I think this was the actual owner of the building. He's an old man. I looked him up and saw he's up and burning for what it's worth. And he's just trying to get out of it. He wants to get some cash. I looked up where his loan was. He's at Jefferson Bank. It was like 300,000. So again, I would not be even opposed to offering an owner finance situation, which you can do on these things too. So all the things that you're used to using in your toolbox, it's all there. So I think, all that could work. But yeah, I looked at it, I go, man, it's not a bad deal. Estimated taxes, 20K. It's not bad. Again, it's triple net. So right now, but the reason I liked it is there's an open, which is this one. It's an open still for lease. So 45.98. You could do it at another $10 a foot. So, now you go from 10,000 to 15,000. If you were to buy it at full price, they're asking for 1.49, I believe. And so again, say you get her down to 1.3, the numbers work. And you're making another $40,000 to $60,000 a year, and it's already there right now. Currently, I think you'd make 70. I'm trying to think of the numbers I had on it, but I think you'd make $71,000 a year if the entire thing is leased. So you really need the back, right? So that's where it becomes quote distressed, right? Outside of that, you're making about 25 grand. So you're making somewhere around 2,000 something a month, right? Again, I'm giving you round numbers. I have all the numbers. I just don't have them all right now. This is the building. So there's the Live Laugh Love Club. This part here. This is the adult daycare. I like it for a couple of reasons. I'm pretty sure they get government funding, right? So if we haven't learned anything from watching half of the news about Africans coming over or whatever it is and getting cash, but I think they're getting it legitly, which means they're going to have funds to pay. This one's a new lease. I think it started in November. And again, this is just on market. But again, where can you find a deal on market in MLS? I'd love for anyone to go, oh, I got 10 of them, anything. I mean, when you go in and you look at these things, this is just sitting on market. And then this is the back here. So it's got accessibility where you could rent this out through the back, which was the pictures that it looks like this. This is the rear part of the building. So again, somebody that's wanting to come in here and do a cabinet shop or whatever it may be. Again, I'm at $5,000 a month, and I mean that's one kitchen, right? So one kitchen a month pays for the entire place for them, and it's pretty ready to go, to be honest with you. So again, I'm not saying this deal is perfect, and I think it needs a little bit of love, and I think I would like to get it at a million one. And then I would also have to work through structuring. So when you're looking at a deal like this, again, this is not as easy of a, I don't want to say easy of a structure, but you would want to do a little bit of a different structure on this, I would, in order to make this work. And this is showing you, I mean, here's downtown, and boom, you're right here. And this is sort of got some industrial. It's also exchanging, if you're familiar with the area or not. This is the Pearl Brewery. So if you've been here to San Antonio, I mean, you're just in a solid area. My bar is right here. I own this whole strip here. So these kind of areas, I know that they're going to pump. And again, you're downtown. This is just giving you kind of the corridor of what it is for Five Points neighborhood. I mean, I've bought houses in the area, what have you. I mean, again, this is the Riverwalk right here. So right here, this is the River Center Mall, and this is where they're putting the new Spurs arena. So when you're looking at these kind of things, and you're going, okay, I know the area, I know the this and that. I think when I start looking at that kind of stuff, I'm like, man, this deal works for this reason or that. And so I'm trying to figure out how to log out of this screen here. Maybe I'll just go out of
Chris, you raised your hand. What you got?
Hey, Clint, thanks for coming on here. I'm sitting at one of my flips and kind of tired of doing them. So I've been looking into some commercial stuff myself. But if we bring you a JV deal, do you have cash available to put down payments and stuff down? Is that part of the deal, or?
Yeah, I mean, that could be part of the deal. So depending on what it is, we do have cash pretty readily available. That being said, too, depending on how we structure it, it could go all different ways. So I'm sort of, again, I haven't actually launched. I mean, you can look it up online, but I haven't launched. As far as like full deal structures, I'm trying to see what's going to make the most sense. Do I want to get involved? I mean, let's put it like this. There would be deals that I would be willing. It looks like you're in Corpus.
Yeah.
I mean, on a deal like with you, I'm close enough by far for me to where I would feel comfortable being like, hey, we could JV, and if I'm putting cash in, there's some partnership on some level. We'd probably do, yeah, we could work a deal. So outside of that, what we would probably do is maybe charge something and help you do the deal. But yes, the answer is absolutely easily in Corpus. I could get money to help do the deal and or help structure the deal is probably going to be your biggest thing. And then if you needed help with the cash, that's available as well.
This is something I want y'all to like always put in your heads is good deals find money. So like
Yeah.
never ask the money question. Like I know it's on our brains. How the hell? Don't ever ask. Like good deals find money. What you need help with is
Yeah.
structure. You don't
Always,
need
yeah.
the money. The money's there. There's funny money around every corner. You could get too much of it and get a lot of bad deals. Trust me, I've done that too. Right?
Sure.
Money is not a problem. You need structure. You need good deals. You need good people in good deals. That's the key.
Yeah. No, I would totally agree. I mean, money will come. I mean, the only caveat to that, and is the money guys want to take your deal, right? I was talking to a guy the other day. He needs 30 million bucks, and he has an oil deal, and basically he's like, dude, I'm just trying to find the money without everybody taking 80% and leaving me with 20. So, the other thing I would say on that side of it, though, and I think Travis would agree, is fuck, man, jump into the deal and learn the deal. If someone takes 80%, look at it like, the other side of that is you could also just wholesale the deal. So you could sell these deals. You go, hey, Clint, I don't have the cash for it. Would you want to buy it? And I go, yeah, sure. Well, you look at the spread on my deal that I'm showing you, and you go, dude, maybe I just go make $200,000, and now you got 200,000, and there's another deal. So again, I just showed you a deal that's on LoopNet that you could find. So this is not something that, at least for me, that I look at and I go, eventually people are going to learn this, right? And I hope to be on the front end side of that to where I'm made a lot of money teaching people this. But I mean, one thing that Travis and I were talking about is like find a guru out there that's teaching you how to do these commercial deals. Honestly, most of the commercial guys, um, they hold this shit tight to the chest. The reason I learned a lot about it was because I was doing a lot of construction for them. Ended up going on like trips with these guys that, I mean, these guys were like Wolf of Wall Street, It's like I was doing things I didn't know was possible to do, I'm staying in the MGM Mansions Grand, like we're throwing around $50,000 a night for a table at Hakkasan. And I'm like, I remember one time one of my investors left and they bring me the bill. It's $50,000. And I'm like, where the hell? I had like 10K in the bank, I remember being like, dude, I'm not going to pay 50K tonight, dude. They're like, no, no, don't worry about it. It's all comp. Just sign the bill. And I was like, what the hell? So, like he's saying, there's so much money out there, but there's really not anyone educating people for whatever reason. I mean, we go to conventions, we go to things, what have you. No one's talking about it. Everyone's like, it's almost like this subject. It's like, oh, you could never do it. But yeah, yeah. I mean, the money's there. Like you said, if the deal's right. So if you're trying to, put a square into the circle, it ain't gonna work. It's just the way the deal works. So, people get pissed off. I look at people's deals. The deal that I went and looked at, that's the mobile home park. I mean, I hit up Travis. I'm like, dude, I think the guy's $1 million off. What do you think? He's like, hell yeah, the guy's $1 million off. He's like, I don't care if that offends the guy. I'm not interested at the 2 million. He needs to be at $1 million because of the stabilization and the problems and the BS and the yada yada. The deal didn't work. So if you got a great deal, I mean, I think Corpus is such an up and coming area. You guys have so much. I mean, I know a lot of people that buy down there. Travis, I think being one of them. I mean, I've got good friends down there. I've got friends over there, like the whole area. So that's an easy one. If you go, I'm in Chicago. I had someone send me a deal that was just outside of what was it, St. Louis, and you know, uh, upon diving into the deal, it wasn't a great deal, but I could find you money up there. And a lot of these banks will lend in certain areas in different ways. And if not, we know how to talk to the banks now, especially. And yeah, I can come in with, I've got one partner like the one I was just talking about. And he's been now a friend for over 15 years that, he's got 20 million bucks that, he's looking for deals too. Right. So everybody's looking for ways to make money on deals. It's just a matter of bringing the right deals. But I think what you'll find is probably all of you talk to people that all the time and they're attached to whatever home, right? It's like, oh my God, my grandmother had this home and I don't want to lose it. And you're trying to tell them like, lady, you're gonna lose it. You need this, you need that, whatever. What you'll find is like, oh yeah, well, also my dad had this building and that was kind of his office, and it was cool. Maybe I could get rid of that. And they don't care. They don't have the I grew up in this home and grandma made me, stew and whatever the hell, it's like they don't care. They're just like, dude, my dad did woodworking or welding or whatever, and he's got a 10,000 square foot building. And yeah, it's crazy. He's been letting this guy rent in there with no lease for the last 10 years, and the guy's paying him 2,000 a month, and we just want to get rid of it. You find a lot of that in commercial, and you look in residential, and it's like so different. You're thinking to yourself, dude, lady, you're holding on to something and you're just holding on to like, I need this $30,000 that I'm just like not willing to get rid of. And they'll give you 300,000 over here. And you're going like, what the hell's wrong with you, lady? Like, but I don't know. I'm not that sentimental on stuff like this at all. I've owned lots of fun stuff, but yeah, you'll find that all the time in commercial. And it's such an easier sort of like talk.
Funny story real quick, or just the dude that reached out to him about the mobile home park, he had reached out to me a year prior, and I told him to never text me or never send me another deal because he just
That's,
sends me trash all day. And I was like, stop sending me deals, bro. He's like, well, I bought this. I was like, well, good luck, But he's like, well, 0% interest. I'm like, you paid 3 times too much for it. Who gives a crap? Anyways,
yeah.
Ray, what you got?
Yeah, I was just curious, like, what part of the process should we try to loop you in if we need help? And like, what does like the contract process look like? Do we use the listing broker to help write the contract, and like, what kind of terms and structure should we, shoot for?
Yeah. So again, from where I'm at, I'm just sort of now developing my side of it. So one thing I told Travis was like, look, if any deal you have, send it over. We'll look at it. I mean, I'm going to have a much better process in the next 6 months, to be honest, set up. and go, hey, here's the deal. So I had a meeting actually yesterday with a guy that's helping me set up a full process, a full push, a da 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 da, right? So that we could actually get this set up and kind of streamline the stuff. I'm just sort of new in it. I was telling Travis, like, hey, I'm going to set this up. And he's like, dude, come talk to my group. Right. So I hadn't set it up yet. I've been doing my deals, but I hadn't set up like a full structure. I guess what I would tell you guys, I don't even know how many people are on the call right now, Travis.
I think you
You
got like
know,
12 people on here. So, but here's what,
perfect.
let me talk to you offline. I got a couple ideas because
Sure.
I know how this is like my wheelhouse is simplifying things. So
Right.
I've got a couple ideas I'll run by and I'll get it back to you all if that's fair. That way you're not just chasing everything in the world. I'll make like three rules.
Perfect.
That's it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do want to say one thing is don't quit your day job, whatever that is, because like I've done that several times in my career. I did it recently. We had a huge cash dip because I was like, only mobile home parks. Oh well, damn, all the other stuff. So don't do that. This is like think of this, and this is like trust me. I wish somebody, but my brain doesn't work this way. But I know from experience. Think of this like a like your normal wholesaling or whatever you're making money. That's your W-2 right now. Just think of it like that. You've got to work nights to do the commercial. All right, you got to
Right.
work part time. I want you to do that because if not, you're gonna have dips and it's gonna be really bad, right? So, but you can do it.
I
It's just
agree.
gonna take the extra. It's gonna take the extra hours.
They're still learning, right? So you still got to learn. And so, this looks like a real shiny new toy, right? And we're all, I've done it many, many times where I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that. It's like you can turn on YouTube and the next thing you know, it pops up. You got Hermosi like, this is what you should do to make $1 billion. You're like, you're right, man. What the fuck am I doing in my life? I'm going to go do that. And then you just ignore everything else you're supposed to be doing on a daily basis. So, I mean, look, again, once you build up and you go, dude, figure out your budget. You need $100,000 or $1 million, whatever it may be, then you need to supplement that. But if you have a good job, one thing you got to remember is, again, cash flow. Banks love it. Banks love it. So if you can get out of the realm of, even in commercial, I'm calling it hard money because I think that's how we all think in a residential world. They call it the bridge money, right? So it's a bridge loan, and that all is the same shit for what it's worth. Again, you can put a new label on it and it sounds different, but until you really learn this process, until you've really made that cash and the cash flow, because this will get you cash flow just like a mobile home park, but make sure you're getting it set up first.
Cool. Well, I think we went a bit over, but I hope y'all. Sorry if I didn't get to y'all with questions and stuff. Does anybody have any like pressing questions? We could do it.
I'll answer quick.
Okay, if y'all do, speak
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. I did. I had. So, is there a certain market size that you like population wise, that you stay away from?
No, again, I mean, depending on the size of the deal and the rent and how it works, I think fine. But yeah, I mean, ideally, you probably want to be 100,000, I would think plus. If you can be anywhere near, where are you at?
I'm in Amarillo, Texas, which is it's
Yeah,
like 215, close to Lubbock. It's North Panhandle.
yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I think you can find great deals in that area. I mean, there's plenty of people that are building and doing stuff like this. Like I said, if you're looking at light industrial, especially, man, there's so many people that need it,
Oh
whether
yeah,
it's there or
there's so
anywhere. It's just
many.
super needed.
You
Yeah,
got
absolutely.
200,000 people in Amarillo right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
plenty. Yeah, yeah. Again, if you're way on the outskirts, I'm in Amarillo, but I found a great deal and it's just cheap and whatever. It's like there's probably a reason, if it's a metal
Yeah.
building in the middle of fucking nowhere, which happens a lot in a country
Yeah.
place. You just got to think, am I gonna get it leased up? So, and again, if
Sure.
you find one that's half leased or something, that even gives you a better kind of perspective of what it is. But again, jump on LoopNet, kind of look what people are getting in the area. Look
Sure.
up. You can also look on the leases. So you got the for sale side and then you've got the lease side. Now, again, I'm just giving you that. Don't get me wrong. You can find way better deals off market,
Yeah, for sure.
distressed, estate, yada, yada, tax sales. There's all kinds of deals, and this works the same, right? So, and again, people are more likely to let some of this go because if it's, it was grandpa's or this or that, it's just different. So you could find
Absolutely.
smoking deals. So yeah, again, I think getting with Travis, and that was something we kind of talked about, was how we would want to kind of structure it with you guys to help you do it. But there's a lot of
Sure.
money there, whether you just sell them or whether you do them. But Amarillo is great.
Are you always looking for a value add, or if there's something like a little nicer, you're like, okay, the numbers work straight off the bat? Does it matter to you?
No, I mean, I'll tell you this: if the numbers work straight off the bat, you're probably going to be out of cash for
Yeah,
longer.
exactly.
That's
Right.
kind of the deal. So if you don't do a value add, then you're not going to use a bridge loan. You're not going to use some form of something to do to fulfill that number. So that's really great question. But that's kind of how you're going to get around the federal rule. If you go in and buy something and it's a great number, again, that's like when I'm talking about my mom. If I go, Mom, let's just pull 300,000 out of your bank. Let's go buy a deal that's already nice. It's cash flow, and at least you could have 60 grand plus. Now you're going to get your whatever her retirement is from Social Security or what have you. Maybe now she can live on that, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that deal works for that, but I don't think that it works. Again, if it's a smoking deal, it's a smoking deal. I mean, if it's just
Yeah.
cash flow, and then yeah, take the deal. But that's a good question. I think it makes sense.
That's going to be like
One
your
more.
higher asset too. Like you're just protecting cash when you're buying stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you still have your 40 rentals?
No.
Sell them? Yeah, I've got about 50, and that's what I've talked to Travis, and we've, that he has the same mindset as me. It's just like, what is another rental gonna do? So you just liquidated them, took that cash and would put it into more commercial, bigger deals?
That's it, man. I was in your shoes, and I literally would make the comment like, every guru out there, it's like, hey, Clint, come speak to my group, and I'm like, hey, I'm Grant Cardone, give me your money. It's like, dude, everyone's like, buy rentals. I mean, you could open your Instagram right now and you see, the good looking dude with the hot fucking wife and the two beautiful kids, and they're on a yacht floating through Greece, and they go, dude, I bought three fucking rentals. Or, oh, even better, it's like I've got Airbnbs. It's incredible. And I retired. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. You ruined 10 years of my life, But again, I think I'm joking, right? They weren't even out that big, but that's everybody now, right? So yeah, man, I sold that shit and said, hell no, I'm out, dude.
Nice,
So
nice.
I
I
got
like
rid of my wife. I got a 25-year-old girlfriend, dude. Now I am trying to live that life. Travis will tell you I'm on yachts all the time, dude. So yeah, it wasn't
it.
true. It wasn't the case with my rentals. I'll tell you that.
Nice. Thanks, brother.
I,
Thank you.
I went the same trajectory. So like I don't know. It sucks. I don't everybody's like, I bought all these houses and all these likes. I'm like, God, I'm sorry. Like, sorry. That sucks. Yeah, no, this stuff's way better. So that's why I like to bring this stuff in front of y'all. So keep your day job, but keep your eyes open. There's big money out there, for this. So thanks again, Clint, and appreciate the hell out of you, bro. And then, we'll get back with y'all on some more simple ways to do this stuff too.
Yeah, I already know. You already told me you had it set up. So, guys, I really appreciate it. It's good to talk to you. Good to meet you. Travis, I mean, dude, you guys are with the right guy. I mean, the guy's always doing really cool stuff. Anytime we talk, it's like not only new ideas, they're fresh. I mean, like fresh in the industry like this, right? So it's like we're always bouncing deals off each other. This guy is incredible, obviously encouraging all the time. It's like I want to get my health journey even back up even more. I mean, I'm not some fat ass, but it's things that we go through in life that we want to get better. And so, man, I couldn't be more like just thankful for you as a friend, as a mentor in many areas. And yeah, you guys are with the right guy. And yeah, I appreciate the time, man.
Hell yeah. Have a good one, Clint. Have a good one, y'all. Appreciate the hell out of y'all.
Bye, guys.
Later.